You may heard the show called The Dating Game from the 70s, and there was contestant in that show ends up murdering a bunch of people.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And welcome to the dating game. And we'll get right underway. It's time to meet our first three eligible bachelors for game number one. And here they are.
The contestant name is Rodney Alcala, who is Army living in Los Angeles. Truly, this man is a real psychopath killing people for no reason. One day in 1968, Rodney saw a young girl, and he offers her a ride to school by his car, and the girl ends up having a ride with Rodney towards his home, and he does a horrible thing to her. A witness saw him and called police. Police found the girl brutally bitten by Rodney, and FBI end up making Rodney on wanted list. So Rodney goes on the run and flies from Los Angeles all the way to New York, and there he changes his identity and his name, and he goes to school in NYU, and he still wants to change his ways because he is a psychopath. A few years later, he meets a nice woman who was moving to a new apartment, and Rodney offers her to move her furniture, and when he was on her apartment, and suddenly he attacks her, and he strangles her until he unalive her. From there, he traveled from New York to New Hampshire, and there gets to be a counselor of kids during summer camp, and he lures I there for a few months. But then a couple of students were post office and happens to see FBI post about most wanted man and happens to have Rodney's face. And the students were like, "Is that our counselor?" And they freak out and they report to nearby police station. And then Rodney gets arrested and goes to prison. Less than 2 years later, he gets out and he become a free man. And 2 months later, after he become a free man, he approaches 13-year-old girl while he is in his car and offers a ride to her school and ends up doing terrible things to her. And he gets arrested, been thrown to prison again, or then 2 years after he become a free man, again travels from California to New York. There he meets a nice woman who seems as a model. He offers her to take photos of her, and she agrees. After they get along, Rodney attacks her and killing her. After that, he travels to Wyoming, and he meets another girl who seems to be a model, and he offers her, take her pics. They get along, and he attacks her and killing her too. From there, he is back to Los Angeles. There he uses his words like, "Hey there, let me take you a picture of modeling," so that he can kill women. He saw a 19-year-old girl and kills her. He dumps her on the side of the road, and he does the same thing to a 27-year-old woman that he ends up killing her too. About 6 months later, he kidnaps a 31-year-old woman. Doing all these things to women, it was so easy for him that he ended up not getting arrested by the police. He gets confidence to the public, and he auditioned a TV show called The Dating Game. So in The Dating Game is whereby Rodney, he gets win against the other bachelors, so he can get along with the woman who is single, and we see what happens when he gets along with women. So Rodney is ready for the show, and they call him
Rodney Alcala. Rod, welcome. And it's time to meet our young lady for game number one, and here she is. Here is a young lady with a wealth of experience. She once earned a living massaging feet, but she quit when her boss suggested that she work her way up. Then she taught school in Phoenix, Arizona, and now she's here to educate our three bachelors in the art of amour. Welcome, if you will, sensational Cheryl Bradshaw. Hello, Cheryl. Don't sit down yet. Just a minute. Want to make sure everything is straight. You relaxed? You feel okay? All right. You know there are three bachelors over there. There'll be 1, 2, and 3. Ask them anything you like to find out more about them, except their name, age, occupation, or income, okay? And we're going to start by having them say hello to you and see how they sound. Number 1, would you say hello to Cheryl, please?
We're going to have a great time together, Cheryl.
Since as part of the show, he asks her spicy questions and seems to get along.
Look like?
I'm called the Banana, and I look really good.
Can you be a little more descriptive?
Peel me.
So they won, and the contestants goes back to the show. So Rodney is there, and Cheryl is there too, and who seems to be getting along? It seems Cheryl having bad vibes for Rodney, and she sees Rodney as a CCDP guy. She tests the producer. She doesn't want to go date with that guy. So they producers cancel that date after. Back then, he goes assaulting other women like 21-year-old college woman, and he essays her and he kills her. So one day he meet 2 12-year-old girl at the beach. So next day he saw one girl and her name is Robin. So Rodney offers her ride to school instead of taking her to class. He drives her to a mysterious place when Robin got missing. People started to suspect, and they involved police for investigation, and they interviewed her friend who was 12 years old. This girl has a good memory, and she gives a deep details what Rodney looks like, and they able to draw a Rodney police sketch. So one police noticed that sketch looks like Rodney, and he recognized Rodney, then Rodney got arrested. So police got a lid and starts a research at a place called Seattle, and they search a storage locker, and they find multiple of women pictures, so-called modeling photos, so they found Robin's earring that they used it as evidence to prison Rodney. So Rodney goes to 7 different trials, and he found himself guilty and sentenced to life in prison. So it was believed that Rodney murdered 130 women. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel for more crime stories. See you guys later.